So if I were to just say, you know what, I don't like being a highly sensitive person, I don't like being an intuitive person, I don't like being an introverted person, I would be doing my community a disservice because I would be depriving them of the awesomeness that it is to be able to have such an amazing rapport with someone and being able to challenge them to a degree that is going to uplift them. Hello, so we are exploring introversion, empath, highly sensitive person. Are you one of them? Find out with these signs. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Mindful Introvert podcast. This podcast helps you to get inspiration to manifest a life in alignment with your true, confident, and intuitive being. I'm Jo from mindfulintrovert.com, an inner peace and abundance coach, and my purpose here is really to help you slow down, look inwards, and create a more peaceful life by learning to trust your intuition and exploring your spirituality at a soul level. Ready to be empowered? Let's get on with the episode. So I am going to explore my own reality and my own experiences with introversion, because that way I don't have to be responsible for how you identify yourself. I can just talk about my experience, and maybe by you listening to how I've come to find that I was in fact an introvert, maybe you'll find that you are one yourself, and maybe you'll explore the concepts of being an empath and you'll see, oh, you know what, that's me. Or maybe not, and that's absolutely fine. Hey there, mindful friend. Are you ready to kick up your joy levels and manifest the life you've been dreaming of? Get ready for the Manifesting Bliss workshop, a one-day journey to unlock your inner joy, set powerful intentions, and make positive changes in every aspect of your life. Join us for a day of expert guidance, practical tools, and a supportive community. It's time to break free from the ordinary and step into the extraordinary. Reserve your spot now and let the bliss begin. Visit the show notes to get all the details. Don't miss out. Your journey to joy starts here. So I have always been very social. I would say, looking at my past life, I like being around people. I like going to certain events with certain people. But I was always someone that would talk and play with smaller groups, a little bit more intimate groups of people with my friends, maybe just one or two, just smaller groups. And but I feel like I've always been very confident and very carefree, just here I am, like it, don't like it, don't like it. Well, that's just really what I portray, because inside I care. I think everyone cares if they are being liked to a certain degree. So I definitely care if people like me, but when I get introduced to someone new, I am not as concerned if they are going to like me, because they were not in my life before. So if they don't like me and they are not in my life anymore, I'm not going to miss them. You see my logic here? So I enjoy social gatherings, obviously things that I like to do, not necessarily any social gathering. But I'm okay being with people. I easily speak with people. I feel like even there was a time in my life that I would make friends very easily. And then maybe like in my teens or young adult, I would be a little bit more reserved. Now, as I'm reaching my 30, I am just like, you know what? Life is too short. Life is too short to just being isolated in my house. And especially after COVID, I feel like social circles really took a toll on the relationships, because it was obviously having to stay at home, lots of fear, lots of uncertainty, lots of shame associated with wanting to be with your circle and wanting to be having these encounters. So I feel like that definitely changed a lot of things. But yeah, coming later in my life, as I am going, I feel like definitely need to open up more and be less judgy and be more open to new people and new experiences, new concepts and new ideologies and new ways to communicate. So that has been good for me. And I was never shy. Well, maybe I am shy sometimes, but it's not, I don't see it as being shy, okay? Maybe for some people, especially my boyfriend, when I would meet his friends or someone that he knew and I was just next to him, I would be quiet and I would just be like, yeah, quiet. And there's a difference between being quiet and being shy. Because especially now that I know more of his friends a little bit more, I'm more comfortable to show my true colors. But just right off the bat, I'm not going to show my true colors because I need to assess if it is safe for me to show who I truly am, if I'm going to be accepted, because it's really reading the room and reading what people's reactions are and what their belief system is and their opinions are about things, and is almost like a dance. It's like finding a match to my own values. So if someone is talking about a topic and the way they are talking about it and their opinions about it don't match mine, or at least don't match the ones that I would hope to have, or that I agree with, or I can find some common ground with, I am just going, not shut down, because that's not what will happen, but I will say, you know what, this is not comfortable environment for you to let yourself be who you are and show your opinions. And it's not so much not wanting confrontation, it's almost like I want to conserve my energy, because I have a certain amount of social battery and social energy that I can expend. And if I am having a conversation with someone that I know I will not have a common ground, I am going to reserve that energy and use it when I do find someone that shares the same values, shares the same belief systems, shares some sense of common ground that I can grasp and say, you know what, this can be someone that I vibe with. So it's a matter of remaining quiet and being reserved, precisely to reserve my energy. I don't want to be arguing or even having a normal discussion, a normal conversation. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes it's too draining to engage in interactions like these. So in a first instance, I'm really assessing. And that's what I see, that a lot of people can perceive that to be shy. But I'm not, because in the second encounter, third encounter, or maybe later on in the first encounter, I'm already a little bit more relaxed and I can let my guard down and I can be myself a little bit more. So you don't have to necessarily be shy to be an introvert, or introverts are not necessarily shy. Maybe extroverts can be shy sometimes, but being an extrovert really means that you are energized with being around other people. And that's how you feel best. And you feel like you're part of a community and you're engaging and it's exciting, all of that commotion and that energy of people. That's the idea of an extrovert. An extrovert tends to be seen as very confident. So when I saw myself as confident and I had people saying that I was confident and chatty and talkative and communicative and all of that, I said, there's no way I'm an introvert. But you know what? After I'm done with these people and I get home, I'm just grateful to be in the silence and being in my comfort and doing things in my own way. Having that control of my little world gives me pleasure and really recharges my energies. And that's what introversion can be about, or at least it is for me. Is recharging, is reading a book, is snuggling with a nice cozy blanket, is drinking my tea, is listening to music and dancing or going for a walk on my own. It's those moments that you have to yourself where you are feeling recharged and energized, and you feel like almost like the time stops and you're just yourself in the present moment. Like I am being right now, like I am recording this episode. This is my form of processing a lot of informations and a lot of concepts that run wild in my mind, because that's the thing. A lot of introverts, I would say most of them, obviously I cannot speak for all, but I can speak for myself. But I would say that the majority of introverts are very introspective people, meaning that they're very much in their head. Sometimes they overthink a lot. Sometimes they think a lot before they act, and they are planners, and they like to know all of the information beforehand, and they can have control issues or not. And that's how I see it. So this podcast really helps me to process a lot of the things that run wild in my mind. And that's just my way to process troubles and organize concepts in my mind. And hopefully it is helping you and inspire you and giving you some sort of clarity in your own life as well. Helping you to empower yourself and say, there is power in introversion. There is power in being reflective and introspective and quiet. In fact, I think it's the first episode of season, what am I struggling to speak? First episode of season 2 of the podcast that is coming in January is going to be precisely that, about the power of quiet leaders and how introverts can be extremely powerful and extremely successful. And it really doesn't have to do with how confident and how much friends do you have and how much more liked you are as a person. It just has to do with how you conserve your energy, how you recharge your energy. Do you get recharged being alone? Do you get recharged being with other people? And yeah, it's that. I would say that being linked to being an empath, I would say that a lot of introverts are empaths, because we're so much inwards that we tend to become aware of our body sensations, our energy, that ours and other people's energies as well, because we can recognize micro expressions and shifts in body language and any different sense of temperature and changes are alarming to an empath. Because, and I've been studying this a little bit, and I've seen some studies on infants, where these infants, if they were in the how do we say, I can't remember how to say it in English, but it's when these children were in the system to be adopted, or in the social care away from their birth mother or family. And they tested that when these kids were given a toy, and an adult was in the room, they were more focused on the actual adult than the toy itself. And on the reverse, when you had a kid that was inserted in a family that was loving and I don't want to say this like this, but complete in the sense that they had two parents and they were loving, they had a loving relationship. And it wasn't what is portrayed to be a dysfunctional family. This child was given the same toy, given the same time, and the adult was still in the room, and the child was just happily playing with the toy and oblivious to the adult that was in the room. And the other child that was what these studies perceive to be lacking of love and attention and nurturing attention from their caregivers, these children were very attentive to the adults' body language and any shifts. If they could play, they were like very cautious playing with the toy, always very, very attentive to any potential danger that could come from having the adult in the room, or being yelled at, or having the toy removed. And there are actually a lot of these videos of these studies on YouTube, and it's honestly a bit sad to see that these children had to live in environments where there was lack of love, and because of that they had to be extra alert and had to deal with that trauma, because in essence this is a trauma. This is a deviation from what is desired, that is a loving environment for the child to grow in. And so that is one way to certainly create an empath, because these people, it's a survival mechanism. They need to be able to recognize these shifts and these subtle shifts, these micro muscle movements in other people, to be able to say, is this safe? Am I going to be yelled at? Am I going to be loved? Am I going to be liked? Because when I'm liked, I get food, I get hugs, I get care. When I'm not liked, or I'm dismissed, I get pain. So yeah, this is the extreme. Not to say that if you lived in a functional, per se, family, you cannot be an empath. No, that's not it. But this is just one aspect of empath. I would say I perceive myself to be an empath because I can sense people's energies. And this, when we bring spirituality into the topic as well, some people are very intuitive. I would say everyone is very intuitive. We're just not very connected to their intuition yet, but whatever. So some people have already recognized that they are very intuitive and they can sense when something or someone is feeling bad or feeling good, or there's a shift, or so this intuition, really, sometimes people lack the ability to stop absorbing other people's energies. So they carry that with us everywhere we go. If you're in the supermarket and you see someone arguing with the cashier, you're going to collect that energy with you. And same goes for positive energy. But the problem is positive energy, it's not as, it doesn't imprint so much, because obviously positive energy gives you a sense of, okay, everything is good. I can relax now. So it doesn't activate the same hormones, the same systems in your body that are triggered to help you to survive. And when you have this energy, when you absorb this energy that is a low frequency, that is painful, that is traumatic, sometimes it's these microaggressions that you're not really aware that you picked up. and it just carries with you throughout the day. And then you get at the end of the day and you're yelling at your kids, or you're yelling at your partner, or you're feeling so frustrated that you feel like you're going to cry, you have panic attacks, you feel like life is, so frustrating. Because you've carried your own energy the whole day. I'm sure that life can get stressful, work can get exhausting, people in your life can get frustrating. So all of these situations accumulated in your own life, plus energies that you picked up from strangers, from friends, from co-workers, from family members throughout your day, everything stacks up to a point where if you don't recharge, if you don't do anything to really clear and cleanse yourself of these energies, you are going to explode or you're going to burn out. And that's what a lot of people tend to feel. So yes, being an empath has a lot of positive things as well. It gives you an awesome advantage to create rapport with people, because you are unconsciously mirroring them and matching their body language, because you know to a degree that is sometimes unconscious that in order for you to quote unquote survive, be liked, be inserted in the community, you need to be like them, because this is just one-on-one psychology. That is, people like people that they are. So you like someone that is either like you or like someone that you want to be like. So you are not going to just be attracted. When they say, oh, opposites attract, that's in this situation, that's not the case. Because you're going to be attracted by someone that is like you, or that is like the concepts and the qualities that you want to be like, because you have a reference for it. So I can't remember where I was going with this. Where was I going with this? Yeah, just you are going to really be connecting with these people, and you're going to pick up their energies, and you are going to create this rapport with them. You are going to automatically be sat like they are, and cross your legs like they are, and put your hand the same way against your face like they have, because you know that in order for them to unconsciously like you, you need to be like them. And this is an advantage, because it's not like you're trying to manipulate people, because most of the times you're not even aware that this is what's happening. But you are doing it, and you are creating this moment of unconsciously the other person saying, you know what, there's something about you I like. Haven't you ever heard that? I don't know what it is, but I just vibe with you. I just feel good energies coming off of you. I don't know, I like you. I just met you, but there's something about you that is intriguing that I like. So it's this body language that you as an empath can pick up very fast and can identify emotions very well. So you can have a very high emotional intelligence, and you can really understand people to a deeper level. You can have deeper conversations. Those surface level, you can see through people. You can see through people, which sometimes is exhausting, because people are just yada, 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 and you know what's going on behind everything, because you just know. You just read the person. So that's what being an empath means. I forgot to mention what an ambivert is. So we talked about extrovert and introvert, and an ambivert is that balance between extroversion and introversion, where some days you're more extroverted, other days you're more introverted. So I don't like to talk about binaries so much because the world is a spectrum. And for some reason, 50 Shades of Grey came to my mind. But the world is a spectrum. We cannot just have either or. That's just too limiting and too unfair on ourselves. So we cannot just be introverted or extroverted. No, you can be ambiverted. You wake up one day, you're more extroverted. You wake up another day, you're more introverted. You wake up one day and in the morning you're extroverted, in the evening you're introverted. So it's all fine. Whatever works for you is fine. So the last concept is the highly sensitive person. So in the way that I discovered this, I can't even remember how, but it was just that idea that I just felt things too intense. At some point I was just Googling bipolar syndrome signs and symptoms. I was just, oh my God, maybe this is what I have. Because I just feel things so intensely, good or bad, that sometimes gets comical, really, because it's not something that is very good. Sometimes. Other times can be. So this highly sensitive person idea is really, to me, I get sensitive a lot with certain stimuli, certain environments, moments, thoughts, feelings. It's all very deep and very meaningful, very personal. So yeah, it's having those sounds that sometimes trigger me, having the temperature if I'm not comfortable in a room, having tags, just being itchy and clothes that is itchy. So it's just being, I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, it's just feeling the emotions very deep. When I'm sad, I'm very sad, rock bottom. When I'm happy, it's ecstatic to the point that I'm crying out of happiness and gratitude. So if someone tells me something, I tend to overanalyze it, and I tend to try to read just other meanings that it might have, and it just gets sometimes too much. So I'm sure there are much, much more to explore with highly sensitive people. But I would say that is just some visuals. So I cannot watch horror films. I don't see the news. I don't read the news, because things that are too, I'm going to try to say this word in English. Just bear with me. Sensationalists. Is that the word? Let me Google. It's things that are too sensationalist. Is that a word? I don't think it is a word. But it's just, the media does that a lot, where they tend to show the news in a certain way that is too triggering and activating for some people. And they even say, oh, we advise sensitive listeners or watchers to not go ahead and do this. So it's those moments that I cannot watch horror films. I cannot be exposed to things that will activate my nervous system, because I will have horrible nightmares. I already have horrible nightmares without watching any of that. So I can only imagine when, if I ever did. I don't want to imagine. So it's really trying to protect myself from very strong activating situations like that. Yeah, I feel like I haven't explained what this is too much. But that's how it feels to me. It's really this concept of being more sensitive, more than usual. Yeah. It's not bad. It's good. Oh my God. I'm thinking that maybe I'm portraying this as being something that is bad, but I don't see it as something that is bad because it makes me relate to people more. It makes me notice what is truly important. That's why I feel like I'm such a good coach, because people come to me with something and it's never that something. And I get to the bottom of it very fast because I challenge them. I say, this or this or that. What's really going on behind all of this? And some people are not ready to go deep like that so fast. That's why I feel like it's very important to work with a professional that is trained in all of this and can calibrate these shifts of people's moods and environment and whatnot. So, yeah, it's just challenging those limiting beliefs and go deeper and get connected to that emotion. That's why I think it makes me such an amazing coach. That intuition, because when I started coaching, actually, I was very formal in my coaching. I have a set of questions, I have a structure for this session, this and this and that. In my mind, this is going down like this. And then the more I let go, and the more I connected to my intuition and to saying, you know what, I think this is truly what's going on with this person. Let me challenge this. Let me question this. Let me explore if this is it. And if it's not, fine, we'll carry on with something else. But almost every time is what my intuition tells me. So if I were to just say, you know what, I don't like being a highly sensitive person. I don't like being an intuitive person. I don't like being an introverted person. I would be doing my community a disservice, because I would be depriving them of the awesomeness that it is to be able to have such an amazing rapport with someone and being able to challenge them to a degree that is going to uplift them. So, yeah, that's what it is. So, yeah, I think we've covered quite a lot on all of these. So, let's leave it at that. Yeah, highly sensitive people, you may dream a lot, very vividly. You may end up being daydreaming quite a lot, visualizing a lot of your life, sometimes the past, and that's where things get tricky. If you're daydreaming about your future, that can be used as manifestation tool. Well, either way, you're always manifesting. So if you're thinking of your past and if you're stuck there, you're manifesting that into your present and into your future. So be very careful, if you're a highly sensitive person, how to use this for your own good, because it can be done. And it is a superpower to be extra sensitive to other people's moods and emotions and smells and anything like that. That is a superpower because it distinguishes you from other people. And we need all people in this world. So you matter and we need you. So keep being here and keep coming back for the next episode. I'll see you there. Bye. If you are fully committed to your growth, I invite you to book a free inner peace assessment call with me, where we create an action plan to manifest a life worth living with more inner peace and self-love. And for more inspiring content, follow me on Instagram at Coach Joanna Calado and subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Intuitive Being. I will leave everything in the show notes so that you do not miss a thing. I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, slow down and trust yourself. Bye.